Welcome to the Rob and Kale podcast. Rob Sanders.
Some would be entertained by it. Some would be horrified by
Kale
it.
Carolina Jackpot Hall.
All would be interested in it.
The Rob and Kale podcast.
Let's
go. And welcome into the Rob and Kale podcast, jacked up on Fight Zero after some great cookout food with the family. My name is Rob Sanders here in Columbia, South Carolina, where we will not have a team in the NCAA tournament. We have a bunch of gong show programs here is the way it's looking. I do have my co-host with me this evening. He is the #1 Gamecock YouTuber on the planet, Mr. Carolina Jackpot, Kale Hall. Kale, what's up, buddy?
Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? It's a great day to be a Gamecock.
Yeah, Gamecocks had a good day on the baseball field. We'll talk about that in a moment.
Absolutely.
But I want to welcome in our guest. Yeah, they very good, Jackpot.
Two
outstanding,
programs,
exactly.
Slugging it out, and one was a little bit better than the other. So there you go.
There you go. I want to welcome into the program our special guest this evening from Bracketology. Of course, Tommy joins us here. He was on the rundown with me earlier this week, but I wanted to get him on to talk a little bit about the bracket. And Tommy, I know that you were not on the selection committee, but you probably could have done a better job than the yahoos that were there, to be completely honest with you. But how in the hell does Texas A&M end up out of the bracket after the tournament that they had?
The only thing for me that justifies it is that the committee decided not to watch this last week of basketball, because Texas A&M looks like you could have justified putting them in the playing game this week, but to leave Texas A&M out after they beat Florida, Auburn, Arkansas on a neutral court, and then their fourth game in 4 days against Tennessee, who I could potentially see as a Final Four team, at least Elite Eight maybe, to penalize them for that and say they had to beat a fourth team in 4 games in Tennessee to make it doesn't feel right to me. They had a tough non-conference. There was a stretch of losses in there. I get all that. That's why it was close and they weren't a lock, but they should be in the field. Absolutely.
Well, we've already got questions pouring in. We'll start with Tilly. He says, is it me or did Tennessee get screwed with their seeding?
Absolutely.
You think Tennessee should have been a 2 seed?
100% should have been a 2 seed. They're one of only 2 teams, I believe, in the entire country that does not have a loss outside of Quad 1A, which is how you divide the 2 quads up. So it's anyone that's, I think it's a top 15 team at home, top 25 neutral, and top 40 on the road. They don't have any losses outside of that, and I think Gonzaga is the other one, at least the last time I looked. So if you look at like a team like Duke that's on the 2 line, again, great season, definitely in that mix, but I would have put Tennessee above Duke as a 2 seed.
Jackpot, you got a question for this gentleman joining us this evening?
Yeah. How's Greenville, South Carolina part of the West region?
I don't know how that all works. There's a lot of those things that's a little bit above me. I get into all the seeding, but the regions, sometimes it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it makes 0 sense.
It's like the Braves playing in the NL West, Jackpot. Remember that? That was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
But Braves
Right.
in the West.
Right.
And so were the Reds.
Yep.
The Reds
I
and the
remember
St.
the Reds
Louis
being
was in the
there.
NL East.
Okay, terrific.
Along with the
What else you
Expos,
got?
and nobody knew where they belonged. So
Yeah, well, I'm not going to defend the Expos, but what else you got, Jackpot?
But this NIT thing, I'm looking at that, and it sure seems to me like seems to be a lot of mid-major teams who missed their conference tournament championship by just a bit, and not enough. I don't know. You would call it big-time programs in there. I don't know. South Carolina not making it. And Vanderbilt does, and Gamecocks beat them twice. I don't know. Is this determined by net rankings? Is it determined by just the matchups people want to see? I mean, we see. I mean, Vanderbilt's playing Belmont. I mean, that's a little team from North Carolina. I mean, I don't get it. Just I don't know. There don't seem to be any really exciting matchups there.
Definitely not as many as the NCAA tournament. I will say about the mid-majors, if a team, it was a 1 seed, like if they won their regular season and then didn't win the conference tournament, they're an automatic bid for the NIT. So you got a team like Alcorn State, won the SWAC regular season, didn't win the conference tournament, Texas Southern did. So that's not the sexiest team to be in there, but they That's just an auto bid in the way that they go about the NIT selection process. The rest of it, when it gets into those at-large type teams like South Carolina versus Vanderbilt, for example, it's supposed to be the same seeding principles as the NCAA tournament. It seems like South Carolina is a lot closer to Vanderbilt when you look at their resumes, but I think that if there's going to be a reason that South Carolina was left out, the net ranking is one of the things that stood out. It was in the 90s at the end of the year. So is it the right answer? Is it the wrong answer? I'm not sure, but that's probably why they were left out of this field.
Well, I have a conspiracy theory, and I'm just going to throw it out there. Look, I've got absolutely zero love for the Kentucky Wildcats, but I despise Kansas a little bit more. Jackpot, what comes from Kansas? We've talked about this before.
So, sunflowers, sunshine, and sons of bitches.
Exactly. And Kansas, for some reason, they end up with their seed. All right, you're a top seed, but the only team that handled Kansas this season, and I mean throat punched them, was the Kentucky Wildcats. Isn't it awfully convenient that the only way that Kentucky and Kansas will match up is if it's in the championship game? And I think they put Kentucky in a tougher regional. Now, I've got no love for the Wildcats. I think John Calipari is a big cheater. So is Bill Self. But it is interesting. I think there are people on that selection committee that just look at Kansas and they're like, Kansas, they should get the easiest road there. And it seems to happen every single season. Tommy, am I crazy?
I don't know if you're necessarily crazy about that. I think that we can look at the 2 seed, like in terms of bias by the committee, we can look at the right to the 2 seed line. And like I said, with Tennessee versus Duke, that one just doesn't make a ton of sense to me. I think that's just them putting them there and not giving Tennessee any credit for what they did this week. I will say for the Kentucky and Kansas being on opposite sides, with them putting Kansas as the 3rd overall 1 seed, they're putting Kentucky as 5 overall, the number 1 2 seed. So they're going to be in Baylor's bracket, which then falls on opposite sides, 1 and 4, 2 and 3. So that's why they're going to be there based on where they're seated. But and I also say you talked about Kentucky's tough region. I actually kind of like their draw a little bit. If
Okay.
to get out at least to get out of the bottom portion to the Elite Eight. I'm not as big on any of those other teams in the mix. I think a Murray State second round could be really interesting for sure if that happens, but rest of it could be interesting.
Side note, my wife's wearing a Kentucky t-shirt today. Big Barney Ross sent it to me, and now she's wearing a Kentucky t-shirt. Maybe that'll make her picks. Who knows at this juncture?
Who knows?
What? Yeah. But no, Jackpot, did you have a question about coaches? Because it seems like, well, you got LSU looking for a coach. I mean, it's interesting. Frank Martin was able to hold on to his job, but you kind of talked about this in one of your videos earlier. The whole coaching situation where coaches are leaving and everything else. Are you shocked, Jackpot, that Frank Martin is staying?
Well, I mean, is that's not a done deal necessarily. Now, there's plenty of time to let the guy go. I mean, I don't know. I'm not, because that athletic department has just made decisions that just haven't been all that smart over the years, past 8-10 years or so. Just haven't been all that great with the decision making. I think it's time to move on. I think that the program has gotten stale and we're settling for the status quo, and it's the same old, same old. And I believe in South Carolina's women's program can be as good as it is. There's no reason the men's program can't be as good as that, or at least competitive. So yeah, I say move on. I say get something fresh and new and exciting and different, and let's see where that can go. But other people say, well, we went to a Final Four years ago, and that should be enough. Maybe he's just a victim of his own success.
Tommy, are you shocked with the coaching moves in the SEC? I mean, going into the SEC tournament, I mean, it was there was a little bit about Will Wade, but Conzo Martin was terrible at Mizzou. But
yeah,
man, it's just
that one wasn't surprising to me. The Will Wade, just the timing of it, it just feels like maybe that's something that you wait to do after the tournament. I don't know if that was the shakeup they needed now. I didn't think that the team went through a tough stretch like a month ago, but they're playing better basketball now than they were. So I don't know if you want to make the move, I feel like you let this team ride it out without that distraction of that change first. But Yeah, the SEC being tough too. Maybe that's why it's probably best if South Carolina switches it up. If you stay in the status quo too long, this league's getting really good year after year after year. So you don't want to be behind that curve if you're South Carolina. So I totally get that.
I've got a theory about the whole LSU situation. They basically had the contract stuff with him where it's like, look, if it comes back with a major allegation, then you're gone. I think once they got it, they fired him immediately. I think they did that just for the NCAA to show, look, we're trying to move on from this, and maybe they'll get some leniency down the road.
That's a fair
thought.
point. That's a fair point for sure.
We shall see as far as that goes. All right, what's your favorite upset matchup in the tournament there, Tommy?
One thing I always really like to do, because it happens almost every time, is I like to have one of the play-in winners advance at least to the round of 32. I don't know if either of these playing games are going to the Final Four like we saw UCLA last year, but the Wyoming-Indiana winner, which for me, I'd pick Wyoming to win that. I'd like them potentially to beat St. Mary's. I think that's a decent pick. And I also like UAB. I think UAB has a decent draw, and they have an amazing point guard in Jordan Walker. Playing Houston in the first round. Second round is going to be the winner of Illinois Chattanooga. Could be a potential Sweet 16 team. UAB's been pretty good all year. A couple hiccups against Rice, Marshall, Old Dominion earlier in the year, but they've kind of righted the ship a little bit. So, yep, against them too. Yep. So, I think their draw is decent.
I have one other gripe with the bracket. It seems like, and I know that I'm kind of throwing up at being a 2 seed and a 3 seed isn't much of a difference, but it seems like Duke ends up with a 2 seed. They don't win their conference tournament. I think they're just all, let's just give Coach K his goodbye tour, and he ends up in Greensboro? He's basically in the state of North Carolina, even though he asked to go to Chicago. I don't know what the hell that's all about, but that's kind of how it seems. Tennessee should be the 2 seed.
Yes.
Don't they have wins over? I know they've got 2 wins
Kentucky
over Kentucky.
Twice.
Didn't they beat Arizona too?
They did beat Arizona. Yep.
So
that's too many good wins.
What do the Vols have to do to get some respect here? Maybe they're just kind of beating them down again because of the football program. Who knows?
I don't know about that. A part of me kind of thinks they didn't want to put 3 SEC teams on the 2 line because Auburn and Kentucky deserved it. When we had that top 16 reveal about a month ago, those 2 teams were very close. Auburn was a 1. I think there were 2 overall, and Kentucky was right there. They could argue with Kansas. They weren't going to drop below a 2 seed, but Tennessee should be there too.
Well, other than that, though, when I look at the bracket, you can't really tell on a lot of these things as far as the seating. The seating's a little out of whack. I think I think that Duke should have been lower, but I also think that just looking at the SEC and the way that they seeded these SEC teams, I think that the mentality among the selection committee was, we're not buying what the SEC is selling. Just with the way that they set them up. And I'm not one to talk conference stuff because in football it's completely different. But I think the Big Ten, it's just basically, hey, they're going to roll the balls out there, and we're going to give the Big Ten as many. Michigan is in the damn tournament. Their coach is slapping people on the sidelines, and they're in the tournament. I just don't get it.
Yeah, me personally, I thought Big 12 and SEC were the 2 best leagues this year, and then I think third might be the Big East. I think the Big Ten's deep. I think you can give them that credit. There's the worst team in the league is Nebraska, and they actually looked pretty decent at the end of the year, but there's not really a national championship contender where you could pick multiple out of the SEC. You could pick multiple out of the Big 12 that could win this entire tournament. So I'm with you there. I like the SEC and Big 12 better as a league than the Big 10. So it does seem like they gave the Big 10 a bone here with 3 teams right on the edge, and Indiana, Rutgers, Michigan all getting in instead of a Texas A&M, which got all the way to the final. And we well documented how well they did this week and how well they were down the stretch coming into the tournament. So that's a tough one.
Well, we're going to have our bracket challenge, of course, sponsored by Callaway's. Hope everybody gets involved with it. But I know you got to go and do another interview there, Tommy, but tell folks where they can find your stuff because you guys were pretty much I think the only miss you had was Texas A&M, and Texas A&M should have been in there.
Yep. Yeah, we had
Or just
67.
projections, right?
Yeah, we had 67 of the 68 teams in, and then every single team was either the exact seed or one seed off. So right in the mix for everything. So you can find us on Twitter at Bracketology, which you can see there next to my name. And then also on T3bracketology.com is our website. And then our brackets also posted on bracketmatrix.com, which is a conglomerate of a lot of different bracketologists. So any of those three ways you can find our stuff.
All right, Tommy. Hey, man, I appreciate you joining us here on the Rob and Kale show this evening, and looking forward to the tournament.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Have a good one, guys.
All right, there you go. Tommy joining us from T Bracketology. Jackpot, he kind of knows his stuff, man.
He does.
Normally it's just me and you being a couple of damn hillbillies. We actually had somebody who knew something. What's up with that?
Hey, we're not used to that around here.
I know, right? A couple of things before we get, I want to take calls in just a moment because I know that there are, first of all, Kentucky fans need to sound off tonight because a lot of y'all were running your mouth. And we're going to get to the phones in a moment.
Another thing I wanted to hit on real quick. I need the Texas A&M guy who likes to get on here, spew his so-called knowledge, and run that dick sucker 24/7 to call in to the Carolina Jackpot show tonight and explain to me why the fuck you can't make a damn shot from 15 minutes to go in the game on through the rest of it, costing me money in a parlay, which doesn't really matter because some of the other games in the parlay didn't come in anyway, but pissing me off to no end.
Hold on. Jackpot, you didn't listen to Jimbo Fisher. He said that Texas A&M is coming on, and we just have to get used to it. And they're the best place to play ball. I mean,
I know
old Jimbo said it.
He needs to get in here and explain to us what happened.
All right, we're going to do that in a second. But first, Callaway's Bar and Grill, Callaway'sBarandGrill.com. Go by and check them out. They sponsor our Callaway's Bracket Challenge. Get into the contest. It's $10. We have our special. Normally it's $20. This year it's $10. Get into the bracket challenge. The link is in the show description. All right, so get into that. Also, we have Dennis Wilson, DNC Trucking and Transport, who for some reason he got his kid a Texas shirt and took him to the Texas-South Carolina series today, and South Carolina beat Texas and took 2 out of 3 from the top team in the country. Poor Dennis Wilson. But we do have fireside chats with Uncle Jackpot there. Jackpot, tell us a story, sir.
All righty. Sucks to be a Gamecock. Both schools are gong shows and hoops. Georgia likes Florida retreads. That's true. It still sucks to be a Gamecock. Go Tigers.
Message courtesy of Dennis Wilson, DNC Trucking and Transport. I am opening up.
You got Mike White and Will Muschamp.
Yeah, they like them retreads down there. As looking up the phone lines here. And it's kind of a roll call Saturday night. Let's get one more second here as the phones are loading up. All right, there you go. 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. We need to hear from the Texas A&M fans. We need to hear from the Tennessee fans. You could take a bow because there were some people that were like, fuck them. Kentucky fans, we need your calls as well because there's a prominent Kentucky fan that said we should have lost to Vanderbilt. I won't out the guy, but he said we should have lost to Vanderbilt. So, yeah.
In what, football? Basketball?
No, in the SEC tournament this year. Vanderbilt gave them a good game this year. So, yeah. It sucks. Go ahead.
Shit. I watched Tennessee after that game was over with. Could you just not put aside your hatred for that goofy football program and Josh Heupel and we're back and top 15 ranking and Hendon Hose the next coming of Johnny Unitas and blah blah blah. You had to put that aside. That team was just having fun, and man, they were emotional. after that win in the SEC tournament. So I enjoyed watching that. I said to myself, that's what South Carolina, that's what they should be. That's what they should be doing right now. But we can't. Well, we can't because they're stale and they refuse to move on and do what they need to do to start winning games.
All right, caller, welcome into the program. Good evening.
It's Texas A&M guy. I heard somebody called me out.
Yeah, I mean your team's a shit show.
I need you to explain to us what happened.
Your team make
today.
it to the SEC or ACC championship? Did your team make it that far?
No, that's not. I mean that's
exactly.
evading the question.
I think you should be quiet. I think
you need to start answering the questions and not evading them.
Well, did your team make it to the SEC championship? It's my
Once again, that's irrelevant.
No. You didn't answer my question.
No, no, you didn't answer mine to begin with. So I actually placed money on your team to cover the spread today, and you didn't do it. And I want to know why.
I think it was impressive that we made that far. I think
why?
Because I mean, we beat Auburn, we beat Florida.
I don't care about why.
We made all the way to Tennessee.
Why?
Quit making excuses and tell me why.
No.
Why couldn't you shoot the ball against the Vols? Why couldn't you beat the Vols hard?
We lost the SEC championship.
Why?
But still.
Why?
Why? What do you mean why?
Why can't you beat the Vols hard?
Look. All I'm saying is your team didn't make it that far because the Gamecocks suck. And I think
this is irrelevant. I know this.
You're my son.
Sir,
Clemson, for God's sake. They lost to fucking
We're not
Clemson.
talking about South Carolina or Clemson. We're talking about your team.
I'm talking about my team. What we did was impressive.
Holy shit.
I think we did great. I know we didn't make the tournament, but in the SEC tournament, we did.
Made the SEC tournament. Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Look, all I'm saying is, did your team make it to the SEC championship? No, sir.
No, they didn't. But once again, you haven't answered the one simple question I asked.
I did answer your question, sir.
No, you didn't. You didn't answer the question about why your team couldn't shoot well against Tennessee.
On this show. I'm not gonna waste all my time.
Well, then move the fuck on, then, dude.
What?
Bye-bye.
What?
You said you're not gonna waste your time on the show. Then move the fuck on. See you later.
Look, you just lost a valuable caller to your show. I'm sorry, and you guys are terrible. I'm sorry. I hope we whoop y'all this football season, Jackpot. I hope we beat y'all by 50 this year.
Sure. All right. Good luck to you, sir.
I mean,
look,
good luck to you, sir.
Try this year.
See if your coach can get past Mississippi State this year. I mean, he's 500 against them.
Oh, we will.
See how that works out.
I guarantee you that too.
Just like you were going to win the SEC tournament on the last show when you were calling in.
Look, we made it that far. I'm impressed. I know we lost, but look, what we did was impressive, and your team didn't even make that far. Sorry.
What a clown.
James Thompson asked me where Ziggy was, so I'm showing him. He's over there on the dog bed. Ziggy, come here.
Wow. Anyway, 803-470-2905. That's the number.
Brock Lee with the shout out. I missed the old Texas A&M fan. I hadn't heard him in a while.
Football season, yeah.
The older guy that would call in. Hey, y'all, it's Texas A&M fan.
Yeah.
That guy sucks.
Again. Welcome into the program. Good evening.
How's it going, y'all? Bluegrass Sports Media.
Look at this. I thought you were going to be
faster.
We were going to rename you Casper. We thought you were going to ghost us out.
No, man. Listen, I mean, I gotta hand it to them. Tennessee beat the piss out of us. I mean, is it closer? if you look at the box score, it was close, but they really just ran away.
Hey,
with it.
slow down. Deep breath, sir. You gotta. Normally, you're a little bit slower when you talk. Jackpot. It sounds like he's on the helium, man.
I know. Look at me. Look at me.
Well, I'll enunciate for you guys.
Very good.
But I will waste my time on this show, and like the other caller, that's one of my better qualities is wasting time.
So. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. So, I kind of have to eat crow a little bit because I thought, with a team full of 3 stars, there's absolutely no way they're gonna, beat probably the best basketball team in the country. But it happened, and we found our Achilles heel is that anyone who's physical with us is gonna beat us. It seems like so. There's that. I do think, being honest and not being biased in any way, I do think Tennessee got screwed. I think there's absolutely no way we should be a 2 seed and they're a 3 seed.
I do think, Kentucky's got some good wins too. We goofed, but winning against Kansas, a number 1 seed, that's a big deal. But
yeah, but I subscribe to this thing called the scoreboard, and they beat us 2 out of 3 times, so there's absolutely no excuse for it.
Good point. Brock says you sound like you're being held hostage at gunpoint. Do we need to call the police, sir?
No. I'm fine. Just in shock, actually, that a team full of 3 stars with a head coach like
I can't just let you keep saying that. They beat you twice. What does that say about you that you have a coach that you've even said gets the best team that money can buy, and you think that he's this brilliant tactician, but he can't go and beat Rick Barnes? Don't mock Rick Barnes in Tennessee after what they did to you. That's not nice.
That's kind of what I got, though. My ammunition. I got to put something in the.
Well, how about this? Well, look, I'm gonna pretend I'm a Kentucky fan, and Jackpot, you judge me here, and you can tell whether this is pretty good or not. Here's what I would say. We don't really care about the SEC tournament because we've got SEC banners. There's so many of them. We don't have enough room for them in Rupp Arena. The only thing we count are national championship banners, and that tournament starts this week, and we're going to do really well there. Tennessee doesn't do well there. So, yeah, we have national championships. Tennessee really doesn't. Then you can hang up the phone, and then we'd be done. But you're still harping on Tennessee and those 3 stars. It must really bother you.
Yeah.
It's a little thorn in my side, but you are correct about that. But that's kind of like using the arguments of, national championships in college football, kind of downplaying everybody else's argument, which I can't do because I use a completely different argument in college football, because we've never won. Because I do that, and then as soon as I start arguing with them about football, like, well, you've never won a national championship, so shut up.
Yeah.
So if I use that argument, it kind of
is Kentucky winning the national title or not?
I think we have a pretty good shot if we can get past Purdue, but Purdue's got a really good basketball team. I think.
All right. Have you entered the bracket challenge, sir?
No, I was going to wait for the bracket to come out. I'm about to enter right now.
All right. The link is in the bio. Make sure you enter, okay?
I will.
All right, brother. We'll see you later on.
I got to see it.
All right. There you go. Bluegrass Sports Media calling up, sounding like he's had about 12 cups of coffee and has somebody basically telling him, you will read what's on the flashcards in front of you.
Wow.
Hell. Jackpot. There's not one team from the Palmetto State on the men's side in the NCAA tournament. What a shit show.
Or the NIT either.
They didn't put Furman in the NIT. How the hell does that happen?
I don't know. How they not put Furman in there, but they put fucking Longwood No, they won the conference tournament. Who was it? Somebody stupid in the NIT. What fucking Towson, Santa
Towson.
Clara? I don't know. Who gives a shit?
Exactly. Caller, welcome to the program.
What's going on, guys? It's Baylor Man. How y'all doing?
Hey, Baylor Man. How the hell are you?
Good.
Well, I'm good, but I'm just a little upset and disappointed
Perturbed?
that our women's team's a 2 seed.
Yeah.
Yes. Perturbed.
Perturbed is a good term. You know, I haven't really gotten to. They announced the women's bracket so late, and I'm going to be honest. I love watching the women's tournament. I think it's just as good as the men's tournament. I know some people get pissy when I say that, but I haven't really gotten a chance to look at the bracket. But I could assume that if you're the number 2 seed, you were basically, number 5 overall, because Baylor had a hell of a season.
Yeah, I mean, with a new coach and people transferring out, and just how bad we started. Now we're in a rhythm. We found our chemistry. So, of course, they lost today,
right,
to UT, but that kind of stuff happens. But anyway, I did go ahead and enter myself in y'all's bracket challenge. So
very good.
Yeah, I'm pumped, and may the best picker
win.
And best team.
And I will.
Appreciate you calling the program, sir. You're one of the smart fans from Texas, I guess, because Texas A&M fan was kind of silly tonight. But thanks for calling the show, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, there you go. Got Baylor fans calling the show. Jackpot. We're reaching the Texas folks. Imagine that.
We're transcendent. We're going halfway across the country.
Damn right. B. Bean asked if we discussed Tom Brady unretiring. I mean, we got plenty of time to talk football. It's Selection Sunday. Welcome into the program. Good evening.
Hey, it's Big Barney Ross. I called earlier, but I was trying to finish up the Rick Barnes Calipari documentary starring Adam Sandler called Big Daddy, where Rick Barnes takes on the little kid, to train him up.
Yeah.
But it's been a good SEC tournament. Really, Kentucky shouldn't have beat Vanderbilt, but they somehow did. And I would enter that bracket challenge, but I'd probably be better off just to send you $10 and not fill one out.
I'd like to see your picks, sir. You should enter.
Well, I may do it. I may get on there, but I've got Kentucky going out in the Elite Eight, and I just think that's about par for the season. You cannot have an off game and expect to advance in the NCAA tournament or the SEC tournament. That's just basically what we did. And I really thought Texas A&M was going to be back, and they just run out of legs there at the end of that. So,
well, obviously Jimbo Fisher's full of shit. I mean, they're supposed to be coming on. This is supposed to be the place where you want to play ball. We should get used to it. No, maybe not.
Yeah.
The basketball team ended up
coach of the year, and
the basketball team ended up flopping like the football team, just not worth a fuck.
Well, I mean, for the amount of money that Texas A&M, Kentucky spending, you're not getting really a good return on that investment.
It's a good point.
New year, new me. New year, new money. We'll see where it goes, but I love it. March Madness, anything could happen. Y'all think about it. I'm out of here.
All right, buddy. Appreciate it. I have to rip the Texas A&M fans. They're on Twitter. They're pretty hardcore.
They are.
Final thing before we get out of here, Jackpot. Georgia went to Florida to get their head coach for basketball. I mean, they love them retreads. The Florida message boards were bitching that they hadn't fired Coach White yet, and Georgia says, well, let's just go get that basketball coach to run our program. Florida fans are happy. One guy said, I'd rather the janitor run the team than this guy. He actually said that.
It said they had reached out to him to talk to him, so they didn't have to fire him.
Oh, man. I got nothing. Brandon was asking about Scott Hall. Apparently, Scott Hall from the NWO is had like 3 heart attacks. Not doing well, Jackpot.
Hey yo.
Hey yo. Hey no.
That sucks.
It does suck.
He's he's had some substance abuse issues over the years, but he cleaned himself up, I think.
Yeah.
He went through that DDP yoga.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
Let's take another call here. Welcome into the program. Good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen. This is Texas A&M fan.
Hey.
The real. Oh, okay.
We were worried about you.
No, I made it to crisis. I just tuned in. I heard y'all talk. I hadn't heard the whole show. I just got in on it, so I don't know what's going on.
Well, but there was a younger Texas A&M fan that basically called up and said a lot of harsh things and said that he didn't want to waste time with our program. So I felt the need to mock Texas A&M a little bit. And then all of a sudden, the Texas A&M fan that I like actually calls. This is some bullshit.
No, I was like, yeah, well, I mean, I don't follow basketball per se. I tune in late, kind of like I do the World Series and baseball. I'm just not a year-round dude. But I saw where, they had A&M had made a run in the tournament, but they lost 8 straight conference games. So, I mean, how can you put a team in the goddamn tournament that lost 8 conference games in a row?
Exactly. Very good. I don't know. Jackpot, if you got it, can you help me with that? I don't know.
Who did they put in?
No, he said that Texas A&M shouldn't be in. They lost 8 conference games in a row.
Yeah,
so,
they're not. Yeah, they're not in though, right?
They're not in. But that's why he said. He said, why should they be in when they lost 8 straight?
They lost 8 straight regular season games in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's it.
Did A&M get put in the NIT? I hadn't looked at that.
They're in the NIT. They're number 1
that's where
seed.
They need to be.
And they get Jackpot. They get Alcorn State. What famous
the Gamecocks didn't make it,
Alcorn State?
But Gamecocks couldn't make it, but Nicholls State did.
Nicholls State.
Shit.
Jesus. Well,
Furman
Texas
didn't make it,
fan,
but Nicholls State did.
It's good to hear from you, Texas A&M fan. We appreciate you, brother.
Hey, listen, what do y'all think about that transfer quarterback that came in from LSU? How ironic is that? Is you beat a team in the next fall, you're playing for this team you just fucking beat.
I don't know. I mean, transfer portal's a bitch. That's pretty much the only thing I can tell you. Which quarterback was it? Was it Miles Brennan? Who was it? I can't remember.
No, they brought in Max Johnson.
Max Johnson, that's right. That was the young guy from LSU. Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't want to play for Brian Kelly.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, it was kind of a sweetheart deal because his brother from Tennessee is the number 1 tight end in the nation. He decided to come, and then Max transferred in, so maybe they want to have a little brotherly love session going on up there.
Or maybe they like that NIL money that Texas A&M seems to have a lot of.
Well, I mean, the thing about the NIL, I mean, all you got to do, I mean, South Carolina or Clemson could have the same deal. They just got to organize their people and get the shit out there and recruit the motherfuckers. But yeah, it can be done. I mean, they didn't do anything illegal. They just used the money. But South Carolina's got just as much money, or Clemson. So, I mean, it's on them. It ain't on us.
You know what? That is the most honest answer ever. Anybody else can do it. Why didn't you do it? And, Jackpot, he's making a lot of sense this evening.
For what? I changed girlfriends.
It's nothing we did. It's what you didn't do.
But I mean, they kicked the rules out there. Saban and them's doing it at Alabama. They've been doing it there for years and years and years. It's just under the table. So that's why Saban's so upset. He says, "Oh, it's going to change everything." Yeah, it's going to change everything. because now you know how your little scheme that you've been doing for all these years is legal now. So now, you know, a team like Stanford or, you know, whoever, Michigan, they can fucking come up there and kick your ass. And that's why there's so much bullshit going on in the SEC, because, you know, it's been under the table for so long. No team wins 10 national titles in a row like Alabama, or however many they won, but without having some kind of, you know, shit going on. I ain't stupid.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's getting late, brother. We appreciate you calling, and call back in more often. We miss you, my friend.
Yes. It's been good to hear from y'all, and keep your head. Oh, and I tell Jackpot I'm thinking about getting a dog, you know, so I know we had the dog story back in the day. I'm looking at getting a hound dog, but I don't know. I moved out in the country, so I think I'll get away with it.
Good luck, buddy. We'll see you later on.
All right, later.
All right, there you go. Real Texas A&M fan calling in.
Yeah, we thought about. I thought at one time about buying a blue coonhound puppy from the flea market in Pickens, South Carolina, but they wanted $300 for them, and I'm afraid here that we live in a subdivision. I'm afraid it probably wouldn't go over too well because they're loud.
They're definitely loud. By the way, did you hear the bit that Texas A&M fan said? He goes, "Well, I got me a new girlfriend, and she changed my perspective."
Okay.
He kind of dug that in there. Holy shit! What a good way to end the show. By the way, get in the bracket challenge. Shout out to the folks that are already there. We got to get some folks in the bracket challenge. So get in. The link is in the bio. So we'll start messaging some of you folks, get you in. I want to see Billy needs to get in it. Jet Mech, Brock, Brandon, all you guys jump into the bracket challenge. Wednesday night, Jackpot and I, it's $10. And Jackpot and I Wednesday night are doing our bracket for the animal shelter. So we'll see how that works out. All right, final call of the evening, even though it's late. We'll take this one more call here. Welcome into the program. Good evening. Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
I've been watching y'all's show tonight. Hello.
Good. Hello. What's up?
You there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, I was just calling. Carolina Jackpot's getting as bad as Uncle Lou ranking on Tennessee.
He didn't say anything bad about Tennessee. What are you talking about?
At the beginning of the show. The football team.
Say?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. As a Tennessee fan, you should expect to get razzed on a little bit.
Oh, yeah. But I want to know who they lost to. They shouldn't have lost to. They lost to Georgia. They lost to Alabama. They lost to the ACC champs, Pitt. They hung 35 points on them.
Brother,
they lost to Ole Miss. They lost to Florida. They lost to Florida when they were well. They didn't have COVID.
I mean, Purdue just scored again. Do you want to still talk? Purdue just scored again.
They didn't have COVID.
Bowl games don't matter. And they beat everybody they should have. They beat South Carolina in the first quarter. They beat Missouri in the first quarter. They beat everybody they're supposed to be. And now Josh Heupel's got a gimmick offense. He just runs speed up offense. He doesn't do anything different.
Well, I mean, brace yourself for disappointment.
Irrelevant. When you're relevant, you can start trashing other teams.
Brace yourself for disappointment, because Josh Heupel has had
Rattler's going to do it all by himself. The Rattler.
Let me help you, caller. My team. I know that my team is relevant. Tennessee doesn't fucking impress me. I don't give a shit who you beat. Sorry, you play in the SEC least, and you're not that special of a program. Josh Heupel looks like he fell off.
Playing Georgia, Alabama, and Florida in a row. You come talk to me. The
last time Clemson played Alabama, they beat them by 28 points. So we don't need to hear
how
that.
many national champions y'all got when you start doing this stuff?
We've got 2 national titles.
Would you rather play at Clemson or Alabama?
I'd rather play at Clemson because I don't like Nick Saban, but I'm
sure
biased.
You would. Sure. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I said I was biased.
That's a good reason.
I know one thing. I'd rather play at South Carolina than Tennessee.
Between Uncle Lou and Carolina, Jackpot, want to pick on Tennessee all the time. Sure, we ain't been worth a damn in 20 years, but we beat the shit out of people we're supposed to.
Didn't you not win a conference game 3 years ago?
You were favored to beat Purdue.
Exactly. Why are you talking about Purdue? Bowl games don't matter. Let's talk about South Carolina. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Let's
South
talk
Carolina,
about Missouri.
South Carolina's bowl game.
Let's
We
talk
were
about
underdogs.
Vanderbilt. You barely beat Vanderbilt. Jesus Christ. And you're ragging on Tennessee?
We beat them, though.
Come on. Yeah, we lost to Purdue. So what? And you won a bowl game.
Y'all have lost to Vanderbilt in the past 10 years. In the past 10 years, you've lost to Vanderbilt more times than you've beaten them.
Right. I agree with you. Bowl games don't matter, but you shouldn't lose to the fucking
Like I
children
say,
of the
South
corn.
Carolina's got to come up with that money, get that transfer. You got to get somebody to come to Columbia, South Carolina. Shouldn't be that damn hard. You got all the facilities, all the stuff. Everything's right there.
You lost by
Bowl peanut industry is a thriving business. There's somebody should be able to get in on that.
Sir, you lost by 3 touchdowns and a field goal to fucking Dan Mullen in Florida.
Sure we did. That's when they didn't have COVID.
They didn't never have COVID.
Yeah, they did. They were sick. They had 2 planes. The plane that would come in behind them, they had the sick people. Come on now.
You lost to Ole Miss, and then you threw.
Sick.
You lost to Ole Miss and threw mustard at them. What? I mean, come on. You did that too.
Okay.
Come on
we
now.
threw a mustard bottle. So I don't know.
I think Uncle Lou was the one that threw the mustard bottle.
Tennessee gets they have 5 regular season losses to Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, the ACC champs, and Florida, and they're mediocre. They ain't worth a damn. Blah blah blah. Well, if we ain't worth a damn, and you beat South Carolina by 20 and Missouri by 45, 50, where are we going?
Look, I hate to be the guy to tell you this, but Tennessee has been really bad for a long time. You had a good season last year.
Yes, they have. They've been sorry for the last 20 years.
Okay. So why are you calling up acting like you have the best team ever? Come on, man. You went 3-7 in 20, but now you're trying to throw off that you're the best team ever. You went 3-7 in 2020. In 2019, you went 8-5.
My point was, when this show started, he acts just like Uncle Lou wanting to rag on Tennessee. Pick another team. Rag on Vanderbilt that almost beat you. It took you to the end of the game. Rag on Vanderbilt.
That has beaten you 6 out of the past 10 times. But go ahead.
Josh Heupel ain't going to do this. Josh Heupel ain't going to do. You do realize they didn't have a full scholarship program. They had 25. They didn't have 25 players on the team last year. Their hands were tied. So I think they did okay. Awesome. They exceeded my expectations. I didn't think they'd beat South Carolina, but they did. They beat every team they were supposed to beat.
Congratulations.
2018, you went 5-7.
Do we want to go back in history with this? What did they do in '98? Rob, tell me what they did in '98.
So I don't look.
What they do? Who was the first team to win a BCS championship? If you want to go back in history, who did they beat? They beat an ACC team.
Slow down, sir. I've still got. Before I get to 1998, I've got 17 more seasons to go through.
Sure,
calm down.
And they were terrible. They were terrible.
Terrible. Okay, so under that logic,
they were terrible.
They actually do
the past year, where was Clemson? Were they terrible?
No, Clemson won 10 games for like 12 years in a row. Are you really trying to put Tennessee up against what Clemson is right now?
In the ACC.
Don't give me the shit with the ACC. That's ridiculous.
Duke,
that's absolutely
Maryland,
ridiculous. You lost.
Clemson would be a mediocre team in the SEC, and
last time Clemson played Tennessee,
the Matrix says that they don't. But go ahead.
Endure Alabama, Georgia, Florida, all 3 weeks in a row.
You think that Florida's wonderful? You think that? Well, I guess you would. You lost by 24 to them. You probably think they're awesome. I'm sorry. I forgot.
That's when they were ranked number 11 and they weren't sick.
So you're blaming that on COVID?
So Sparta over in the comment section.
They were healthy. They were ranked number 11. Tennessee wasn't ranked.
Sparta in the comment section wants me to point out to you that he was 3 months old when Tennessee last won a Natty or the SEC.
Your thoughts on that?
It's been that long. When did South Carolina win one?
That I never said they did. That's Sparta.
Well, all I'm pointing out is I don't understand what the ragging on Tennessee is all about. You know, Josh Heupel's a second-year coach. He'll have all full complement of players this year.
I gotta warn you, he's had down years everywhere he's been a head coach in year 2.
But if you want to go back in history and look at Josh Heupel's second year and say he's going to do bad, okay, go for it. Go for it. I tell you what, I bet you they beat South Carolina by 21.
Hey, you know what? And then that's all well and good, but the reality is that when you really stop and think about it, the best quarterback that you're probably going to play against probably plays for South Carolina this year. So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
He ain't even took a snap anywhere because he's a damn baby. If he don't get his way, we don't even know if he'll be there halfway through the season.
He
wimped out of those. He wimped out because he can't get his way.
Jackpot, you pissed this guy off.
He got benched.
He got benched.
No, I'm not. I'm just hanging in there going toe to toe. What's Rattler done? What's he done?
He's rated as one of the best quarterbacks.
Yards.
Rated.
Yeah.
Georgia's got 3 quarterbacks rated on standing on side.
He destroyed Florida. He destroyed the pre-COVID Florida in the Cotton Bowl. I don't know.
Do you really think he'll be there halfway through the season?
Why wouldn't he? I mean, where's he going to go?
Why wouldn't he be? Aaron's got a good point. I don't think he's better than Bryce Young.
Hold on, Heupel won't do good. Won't be doing good this second year. I'm telling you, Rattler ain't going to make a difference. He'll be running for his life.
I need to correct myself because Aaron's right. I forgot that you guys have Alabama on that side. I think he's the best quarterback in the SEC East. There you go. Let me put that out there.
Okay. And he never took a snap. Wow. That's good assessment.
That's a great assessment.
He never took a snap.
You keep hanging on that, and you get your expectations beat up, and you go 5-7. You're pissed off, saying, "Well, we should be like everybody else."
You have experience going 5-7. Y'all did it for about 5 or 6 years in a row.
Yes, we did. We sure did. If you want to go back in history, we can go back in history. We're talking about this year. We're talking about the past year.
Talking about this year.
South Carolina's had good teams.
Josh Heupel
South Carolina's had good years. Blue Hole came in there, did wonders. Steve Spurrier came in and did wonders.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'm still not buying into Josh Heupel.
Dylan Gordon over in the comment section says South Carolina beat the brakes off us last year, sir. We did not have COVID. What a clown. That's a Florida fan.
That's
Florida man.
Yeah. You hope Josh Heupel. Josh Heupel will have 25 full scholarship players this year and a whole good transfer portal. So I hope Rattler works out for South Carolina, hanging your hopes on one player, but he'll be running for his life. So I don't know what to tell you.
He's got a squad around him.
Thank you, caller. Appreciate your passion,
I'll
sir.
see y'all later.
All right, there you go. Jackpot, he was upset. I'm closing the phone lines
he's
down.
He's going to have a heart attack.
You pissed him off, Jackpot. I don't know what you did.
He said I was acting like. Why does everybody say that? Somebody else said I've been acting like Uncle Lou a lot lately. How? I don't wear sunglasses inside. I don't do a call-in show in the morning. I'm not Uncle Lou.
I got nothing.
I'm
in the camp of I don't feel that Tennessee had a good season, better than I thought they would have, but my goodness. I mean, are you implying that Tennessee has become so soft and such a snowflake program we can't say bad things about them? Is that
yeah,
where we are?
They're just tired of it. They're tired of being picked on, I guess. I don't know.
Well, they could start by winning some games in the basketball tournament, but we'll go for there. All right, Jackpot. It's time to go to bed.
Yes, it is.
See you guys later on. All right. Talk to you later.
Peace out.